What the hell is Sauce Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Sauce Sports. I apologize for the delay. Had a little bit of technical difficulties on my end, but we should be good to go. We should be good to roll. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to be taking calls tonight. We're going to have the round joining us, and we're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about the first quarter. We're going to talk about recapping the first quarter of this season. When we mean the first quarter, we're not talking about the first quarter of a game. 16 games, split that into four games. So we're a quarter of the way through the season. I hope I did my math right. I'm, being remedial and shit. A quarter of the way through the season, and we have to understand who are the Texans at this point. Some people are like, oh, it's only 4 games. you only get 4 sets of 4 games. That's not that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't downplay it. Don't underestimate it. It is extremely important. Let me see where we at here. I don't know, split in half. But let's get into let's get into it, man. Who do we have joining us in the round this evening? I ain't even give y'all whichever order. Whoever want to go first. I ain't even tell y'all the order.
What's up, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Spitz. What's the deal? Hope y'all having a good one.
It's your boy Wise in the midst. Shout out to everybody in Sauce Nation.
We got the Throw Man and the Wise Man.
Yes, sir. Throw Man, the Wise Man. And we got Salvador Saucy somewhere in the mix whenever he pop back up. So shout out to Hector. Hector will be joining us. Man, so got a lot going on. And again, I told you we're gonna get back on track with the daily 7 o'clock sauce. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all log that in your schedule books. You know, we finna get back how it's supposed to be. And again, make sure you support the channel. If you want to support the channel, go to streamlabs.com/sauce sports. So like I said, today we're going to talk about the first quarter of the season. We're going to talk about each game itself, and then we're going to just kind of take a look at it, you know, kind of judge the feelings of where we were when these games took place, and then where the Texans are heading. So, again, I think if you go back and look at the score predictions, I would have to say, I think for my prediction that we're actually better than I thought we would be. I had us losing the first 3 games, and then the Carolina game being our first win. Now, some things happened early in the season that changed that whole outcome, because you lose, you know, Luck early on. We haven't played the Colts, but you lose Luck early on. You lose Foles early on. And so that changes the dynamic of the division. And right now, everybody's sitting at 2-2. And again, so there's so many things that we have to discuss with this Texans team right now, a quarter of the way through the season. So what we'll do is, like I said, we're going to run down each game. We'll start with the Saints game, and then we'll go, I guess the presumed order will be Spitz and Wise, and then when Hector pops back in, you know, it'll be Hector. If not, I'll fix it here in a second. If he's having some technical difficulties, we'll figure it out. But let's get into it, man. Let's start off with the Saints. All right, so talking about the Saints, and that game, I think at the end of it, a lot of us ended up having high hopes. Even though it was a loss, I think we had high hopes. And it felt like, hey, Drew Brees, Watson had arrived. He gave you that last minute, you know, comeback. And then, like I said, it was kind of good, kind of bad, because then you had that same old Texans feeling, because it was one of those games where, okay, hey, if they can sustain the Texans, maybe they've taken a step up. Maybe Bill O'Brien has put this team a notch above where they were. Maybe they finally, you know, in that conversation with those elite teams. And then, you know, they kind of blow it at the end in old Texans fashion. They make an aggressive move. They get rid of Colvin. And you still feel, and me personally, you feel optimistic, but the game is a loss. And a loss is a loss. Just like you want to say a win is a win, a loss is a loss, no matter how close, no matter what it is. So, overall, at this point after the first game, I felt solid about the Texans. I felt like they would be better than maybe I anticipated coming into the season. But I still wasn't 100% sold, because you saw a lot of that old, that stuff that's been biting us in the ass for years, especially under the Bill O'Brien regime. Spitz, I want to get your thoughts at this point. Game 1 of the Texans, with the outcome being what it was, how did you feel after this Saints game? And how did it impact maybe your thoughts, your initial preseason thoughts and predictions, or just overall feelings of the Texans at that point?
You know, I felt a punch in my stomach how the game ended. That's what I felt at the moment of the game. But, I mean, to be honest, I felt pretty much like the same. It just basically validated what I already was coming into the season, that this offense was going to be an explosive offense, or at least have the potential to be. We're going to get into that in a minute. But be explosive offense, and then when you need your defense, more importantly, your secondary and your defensive coordinator the most at the end of a game, they're going to let you down in crucial moments, like the third down conversion right before they kicked the field goal, and then the one they got to get the game-winning field goal. So both times Colvin in particular gave up big plays, but just the secondary as a whole, I didn't trust the secondary coming into the season. And those are the reasons why. Not that they're going to give up 500 yards a game, but in those crucial moments when you need crucial stops, they're going to let you down. And they just validated that in that game. And Deshaun showed you, especially with the offensive weapons they had, the things that he's capable of doing. And I kind of figured that that's something that we were going to be looking forward to all season. So it just basically gave you a glimpse of how good this offense can be and how bad this defense can be all in one game.
Okay. Wise man, what were your thoughts, kind of right before the game, as the game progressed, and then how the game ended? What did that tell you about the Texans? Did you feel like they may have had an opportunity to be better than what you were anticipating early in the season? Kind of, they are what we thought they were, or do you still have questions? I mean, what was your feelings after this first game of the season?
So originally on a prediction video, I said the Texans was going to lose this game. But, I woke up that Monday morning. I had a little bit of swagger that morning. I'm like, damn, Texans might go ahead and get this dub. I'm like, they in the Saints. Deshaun Watson about to come out. It's year 3. I let the hype get to my head. I seen this game. It was back and forth. I'm like, damn, the offense looked phenomenal. The offense looked good. Kenny Stills looked good. I thought he should have been used more in that first game. But the defense was who we thought they were. And the fact that Aaron Colvin was out there and they had the confidence to put Aaron Colvin out there, knowing this guy was getting beat every day in practice, knowing this guy's a liability on this defense, it's just asinine to me. It doesn't make any sense. Defense didn't really apply any pressure to Drew Brees. I mean, Drew Brees was pretty much able to do whatever he wanted with that secondary, especially against Jonathan Joseph. I mean, it's not Jay Joe's fault. He plays 15 yards off. That's due to scheme. But, I mean, it hurt. Like Spitz said, it's like that New England game. That New England game, Deshaun Watson coming out game, his rookie season, when they threw that touchdown, Tony two-tap in the end zone by Brandon Cooks. I was so fucking hurt, bro. I was like, damn, I can't believe my Texans going to do me like this. I mean, I can't believe Bill O'Brien going to do me like this. And it's the same shit we see every goddamn year with Bill O'Brien. It's been 6 years consecutive. And at this point, I started to just take it and accept it as it is. I mean, last season I accepted it as it is. And this season, I'm just going to have to stick firm to that. I'm not going to have any more phenomenal hope, thinking the Texans are going to pull out the miracle, thinking that these players can go out there and override Bill O'Brien powers, because obviously Bill O'Brien powers is he's hurting everybody on this team. I never seen Deshaun Watson have a game like he did last week. But going back to week 1, I thought the Texans had the opportunity to pull off a big game on primetime TV, open up the season, make a name for themselves, and take an opportunity with Andrew Luck retiring. And we didn't take advantage of that opportunity, but it is what it is. I was kind of excited going into week 2, and that was just about it.
Okay. And I agree. You feel like, okay, hey, they come in, they bang with the Saints. It just comes down to a last-second thing. The defense is who they thought they were. Because I think most of us, felt early on the defense would take a step back, lost some pieces. It was going to take a little bit of time for the cohesion to happen. And it's just like, okay, what's going down? What's happening? What is the situation? What are they really? Was it a lucky game? Were we playing above? Were we playing up to the level of competition? Or, did we just fry it? So that was kind of week 1. And then so the next week you go and you're like, okay, it's much easier competition. It should be easy money win. You got Foles out of the conversation. This is a divisional game. It's of utmost importance. We're familiar with the Jags. I mean, you have all the advantages in the world. Let's talk about the Jags. Now, you come in this bitch. You got Gardner fucking Minshew. First start as a rookie, 6th-round guy. Shouldn't have had high hopes. Shouldn't have had big expectations. But let's be honest. We win, and people are happy. Oh, we win. It's a divisional game. It's the Jags. Yeah. All of that stuff sounds good. But you're missing Ngakoue. You're missing fucking Bouye. You're missing your starter in Foles. You're missing what did Cam Robinson out that game too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So you're missing several key pieces, but yet it comes down to a game. You know, they say football is a game of inches, and it came down to a fucking game of inches, literally. I mean, it was a situation where, yeah, you're happy to walk away to win. You'd hate to be 0-2 at that point. But I think it gave you the opposite effect of the Saints game. Saints game was you're with a contender, you end up losing it at the last second. Texas game, you're with a team that everything that's happened to them at this point, they shouldn't really be in a conversation, and you end up barely winning it. And some people, like I say, you can come up with all the justification, all the excuse you want to. There is no way a healthy Texans team should have gone down to the wire with that Jags team, especially considering how you did, the Jags last year. We can talk about Blake Bortles and everything else that went with it. But you're missing key pieces on that defense. You're missing key pieces on that offense. And yet, these motherfuckers stretch you all the way out to the wire. And so, me personally, looking at that game, man, I'm like, oh, man, I don't know about these Texans. Like I say, the energy I had last week, I don't see it this week. Yeah, cool, a win, great. But the shit was ugly. It's nothing like it should have been. Like, I understand divisional rivalries and all that, but that wasn't even a divisional rivalry. You're playing half a fucking team. To me, it got to a situation where I don't know. Deshaun had a bad game. I think Minshew actually outplayed him. I think he only had 159 yards that game. Minshew ended up having about 260. They're attacking J-Joe. A rookie's over there picking on J-Joe late in the game. Just a lot of questions that you have about this team. Spitz, man. Or we'll start with Wise and go backwards. After this Jags game, what was your impression of the Houston Texans? I mean, not just looking at them, against the Jags, but just where did you feel like we stood in the league?
So I'm gonna bring you back to the morning of that day, of that Sunday. I'm thinking, back in 2017 at the Hurricane Harvey, the Jaguars came to Houston, Deshaun Watson rookie season, and whooped our goddamn ass in our home stadium week 1. They whooped our ass when we was down with Tom Savage having a seizure on the field. I will never forget that goddamn game. I'm like, damn, it's finally the Texans' opportunity to take advantage of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got a rookie starting in his first NFL career game at a away game against a divisional opponent. You got to take advantage of this situation. Their best pass rusher is out. I'm like, damn, it's going to be a feast today. But then something in the back of my head said, watch this game be goddamn close. And I was at the game. And, we get into the first half, and Bill O'Brien fucks up. He fucks up the most I ever seen Bill O'Brien fucked up this season thus far. He didn't call a timeout when we had 2 minutes on the clock driving into the end zone. I'm like, damn, this dude done fumbled the whole bag. Then I see it gets to the fourth quarter, and I see people leaving the stadium. I'm like, why y'all leaving the stadium? Do y'all not know who y'all head coach is? It's Bill O'Brien. The Jaguars will be back in this goddamn game. And the fact that Doug Marrone gave the Texans the opportunity not to go to overtime, he blessed us with a goddamn win, basically. Who knows what the outcome could have been? We could have lost in overtime. We could have possibly scored in regulation with with Deshaun Watson to Hopkins. But to be honest, Jalen Ramsey was locking shit up. Jalen Ramsey was playing great and phenomenal. He had a phenomenal game. I'm gonna give it to him. Jalen Ramsey locked down DeAndre Hopkins that game. We couldn't get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. It's been a big problem this season, but Jalen Ramsey did his job that day. So at that point, I look at Bill O'Brien and I'm like, damn, you got to open up this offense. You got to get Kiki QT in the game. I see Kiki QT come in for one play and go back to the sideline. That's unacceptable. And then we look at the defensive side of the ball. Why the hell, for the last 2 seasons, is J-Joe playing 10 yards off on coverage? I just don't understand that. I'm going to say that every freaking week. It's like something that you should know, and you should make this adjustment. Because when Wright came to the Texans originally, we was playing man coverage. We were sending blitzes. The defense that front seven was attacking. That secondary was pretty good, him and Kareem Jackson. I know he got older, but we still can run some man coverage. So after that game, I'm like, the Texans got to win, and people going to say, oh, a win is a win. But it's not a win. A win is not a win. A win is a win in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, when it really matters. This game did not goddamn matter, and it showed me that the Texans are who I thought they were. I originally had them going 10-6, but right now I'm like, maybe 9-7 at the max, possibly 8-18.
Like you said, up until that point, you're like, wow, what is O'Brien doing with the timeout situation? What is really going on? You don't feel like this team is taking that leap that you hoped they had. Spitz, man, your point with your feelings at this Jags game, at this point in the season, game 2, how are you looking at this Texans team? What are your thoughts? How, starting at the beginning of that game, at the end of that game, how are you feeling about this team?
Before I get into that, Wise, it's an 8-8 league. Like Big Leo says, this is an 8-8 league. It's an 8-8 league. That's what he tells me all the time. He tells me it's an 8-8 league. But man, to be honest, man, that was probably the worst out of all the games that Deshaun. It's the worst win, Deshaun. I know we had a lot of close wins last year. That's the worst win in Deshaun's career as a Texan. That game was complete trash. The whole approach to the game offensively, and I said this in my video, was like we had freaking Brian Hoyer or Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tom Savage or Brock Osweiler back there. Like the whole game plan was just a horrible game plan. Now I do know that Fulham dropped 2 passes. There could have been some big plays in that game. But even besides that, just the whole game plan offensively itself, we kept going away from the run. The run was working. Like that game, Carlos Hyde was eating. And that's Jacksonville's weakness on defense. No matter all the dogs that got up front, no matter if you got Ramsey and Bouye. That's one reason why for like in the past 3 years, the Titans been able to kick in their ass because Derrick Henry been running all over them. They could not stop the run, and we were able to run the football in the game, and we went away from the run. I don't know why. Bill O'Brien, once again, bad clock management. It's been 5 fucking years, and he act like he still don't know a damn clock. I don't know what his issue is. I've been saying this for long. People think I be joking, but I'm dead ass serious. Somebody needs to buy him Madden. He needs to play because he don't understand no type of timeout situations. I don't get it. Like how you don't understand the clock? How you a head coach in the NFL? You still don't understand the clock. And I'm sitting at home. I couldn't understand the damn clock. It don't make no damn sense. It's that game just really just right home everything. Like it's clearly he's not the guy that's going to get it done for you as a head coach because he makes our offense Jekyll and Hyde. Like 1 week we the hottest offense in the NFL. Next week we the worst offense in the NFL. Like it just goes back and forth. Like we don't know what we want to do.
And that's what it comes down to. What is the Texans' fucking identity? The identity is playing down to your competition and going away from what works. We're gonna make shit harder on ourselves and see if we can still win. This game ain't tough enough as it is. Let's step it up a notch. What you got there?
It's a rookie making his first start. I know he played the majority of the game against Kansas City, but still, technically, it's his first start.
Yeah.
And fumbled the ball 3 times, and you win by 1 point at home.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Again, and we're going to get to a game much similar to that here in a couple. But let's talk about the Chargers. Let's talk about this Chargers game. Phillip Rivers, and I said that what Texans are going to struggle with guys. They're going to struggle with quarterbacks that have had a history in this league, and that's kind of what I felt. Rivers ended up putting up 3 and some change. Secondary, I don't know if you want to call it bend but don't break. I just think that I think that it was more so on the Chargers receivers just not being in sync, or maybe those lingering injuries that they had came into play or something. Because what Mike Williams was coming off a knee injury, and I don't know what Benjamin's situation was, but they just had some drops, and I don't even think necessarily that was on. Because it was super funny with DBs is a quarterback can overthrow a pass. Motherfuckers just fumble it. DB might not be nowhere in the area. What's the first thing they gonna do? That motherfucker dropped that ball like they did some shit. Like, if you don't sit your bitch ass down. No fly zone ass shit. But it was more of a situation where the receivers fucked up more so than the defensive backs contributed. And it was just like, man, that game, another game, 3 games in a row where you have shit kind of coming down to the wire. But you feel like, hey, the Texans, they jump out in the third. I think it's when they end up taking the lead. You're like, okay, Because I think that was the game Winkett made a reference about, that third quarter situation, how the Texans don't really handle up in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it and I'm just, okay, well, maybe the Jacksonville situation was just a whiff. Jacksonville does have a good, you start drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid. You don't want to. But you're like, okay, but you see the offense looking good. They're clicking. You see Deshaun looking good. I think he slung, 3 touchdowns that game. And you just, overall, okay, they started out stagnant, but maybe this is a new look. This is something a little bit different from the Texans. This is something we haven't quite seen. And then, like I said, it just gets late in the game, but you're still cautious. I don't think anybody felt 100% comfortable that game because you ended it. You got Phillip Rivers has the ball in his hands. They would convert 2 4th and longs that drive at the end of the game. And almost, again, like I say, almost had one in the end zone, again, if it wasn't for a couple of drops. And so you still let Keenan Allen dropped 183 yards on you. We were talking about that prior to the stream. What most talented teams do is they take away your star guy and make those other guys beat you. But what the Texans have been doing is letting the stars eat and letting their homeboys eat too. Should everybody eat? We'll figure it out. So
it's a buffet out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they let him drop 183. I think he had 2 tubs on him. So it's just like it was a lot of nerves in that game. But you're like, hey, the Chargers are a good team. Again, we walk away with the win. We're 2-1. I think there was a lot of excitement after that game because you're talking about, okay, well, this is a playoff team, and the Texans had a decent win. I'm not going to say a solid win. I think a solid win or a dominant win is when it's a two-score plus game, and you've been able to kind of impose your will. I don't think the Texans ever really imposed their will, but they did what they needed to do to win, and it kind of puts you, okay, well, this team can kind of hang with maybe some of the better teams in the league. I'll start with Spitz, man. Your thoughts after that Chargers game? How are you looking at the Texans? How did you feel prior to the game? How did you feel after the game? What trajectory did you think this team was on?
Okay, this game was a surprise to me. As far as I predicted the Texans to lose the game going into it, so it was a surprise to me on that standpoint. Now, that was one of the rare situations, just like the Saints game, that a close game is something that I wouldn't say expect, but something that you're accepting of. Like the close game to Jacksonville that wasn't accepted. Even though you lost the game to the Saints, you can accept it was a close game that you came in and fought tough. This game you pulled off the win, and you could feel good about winning close against the Chargers because it was not like winning close against the Chargers and they had a backup quarterback and they had Phillip in it. Phillip was throwing that thing, so you could accept having a close win. The Chargers was able to stop the run, and offensively, Deshaun showed you who he is. He was out there like like you said, a good team takes out your best player. They wasn't letting the hot beat us. So what we do, we start throwing to the tight ends, and what the tight ends start doing, making plays. Then you start throwing the steals, start making plays. Like he got the ball out to other people. He threw the ball to Duke a couple times in that game, and threw the ball to Carlos Hyde because they wouldn't get it on the ground, but they were able to get it throughout the air. That's why he was able to throw for 351, 3 touchdowns, and was at AFC Player of the Week that week. So he showed you offensively what he could do. Defense. The front seven played the ass off. They had 5 sacks. With Rita had a sack and a half, and JJ had 2. Merciless once again had another strip sack. Like all the front seven played the ass off. Now the back half is what the back half does, the back half type things. And on that last drive, I really thought the Texans were going to lose. I have a saying that I say about a lot of stuff, and this is how the saying goes. I'm like, the Texans going to Texan. They're going to Texan, they're going to Texan, they're going to Texan, they're going to lose this game. Like, it was set up beautifully. It was set up perfect. What you call it? It was looking like a rookie out there. Jonathan Joseph out there just getting done up by Keenan. Keenan was one of the best route runners in the NFL, and he was getting his ass done up the whole game. He was getting his ass sliced and diced out the whole game. And surprisingly, that's probably the best the offensive line looked in the past 3 years. The offensive line looked good in that game. I have to give the offensive line their credit in that game. That lineup was a legitimate lineup. They actually played the best I've seen them play especially since Deshaun's been here. But like I said, within the past 3 to 4 years, that was one of the best games offensively that the offensive line has played.
Your thoughts when it comes to the Chargers game? Did you feel that sense of hope? Did you think it was a little just inflated? I mean, how did you feel about that Chargers game when it comes to the Texans? Did it change your opinion of the Texans at all?
God damn, the Texans changed my goddamn opinion again. It's like being bipolar with the goddamn Texans, fam. I'm like, damn, that offense looking nice. I'm like, that offense looking nice. We spreading it out. We fucking throwing the ball downfield. We using the tight ends. Kenny Stills getting involved. I wanted to see more Duke Johnson that game. I didn't know why we didn't use Duke Johnson that week, but everybody else was looking good. The offensive line was looking good. I'm like, damn. I don't feel too bad about them 2 first-round picks with Tunsil after that game. I was like, all right, Tunsil's showing his worth already. But yeah, man. I mean, I thought the Texans was going to Texan, just like Spitz said. I thought we was going to fumble the whole bag at the end of the game. I thought we was going to lose the goddamn game. I was like, damn, Deshaun Watson had a phenomenal performance today, and the defense going to go fuck it up. But some way, somehow, immaculately, the football guy said, damn, we're going to save Bill O'Brien this week. We're going to give him this win. We're going to give him a win against a 500 team. He ain't going to be 13-31 no more. He's going to be 14-30. So, I mean, the guy still ain't 50% when it comes to playing 500 teams. But I was shocked by this Texans team. I was like, damn, we got the potential to do something this season. We're taking advantage of this AFC South. We're going to go into next week. We're going to maybe start the season off 3-1. Who knows? Maybe 4-1. I mean, who knows? I was like, damn, we got a good chance. We got a good chance to be number 1, number 2, maybe number 3 seed if we can win this. After this game, I was like, damn, the offense looking solid. The defense, we already know what the defense going to do. But J.J. Watt came back alive, and I was like, man, it's about time J.J. Watt did something because we know what happened week 1, 0-0-0. Week 2, he had a so-so game. I mean, he was almost getting to the sack. He was creating a lot of pressure. But week 3, he was able to finally push through, get 2 sacks. Merciless was doing his thing. And we cannot forget Zach Cunningham. Zach Cunningham is having the best defensive performance on this team besides Whitney Merciless and besides J.J. Watt and Benardrick McKinney. Cunningham is getting to the point of attack, and he's finally been able to hold running backs out of the backfield, and he's been looking good on tight ends as well.
Wise. You was really drinking that deep steel blue, battle red, and liberty white Kool-Aid. What you drinking the shit out that Kool-Aid?
That battle red, that's that tropical punch, man. What you mean?
He drinking the shit out that Kool-Aid. Damn.
Fam, I don't know what they put in it, fam, but I was like, damn, you know. But then, we'll talk about that.
It's that hood Kool-Aid. Look, hood Kool-Aid. That's, with the extra, they put the whole bag of sugar in there. And it's hood Kool-Aid and Mexican lemonade are like the same shit. Like that shit be loaded with sugar. That shit is delicious. I love it. But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So, as we stroll into the last game that we most recently played, right? And that is the Panthers. Now, this Panthers game was set up almost like the Jags game. You have your starting quarterback out, but the thing was, Cam hadn't really been producing this week. You got a guy coming in with a limited number of stars. He might as well be a rookie, even though he's in his second year. Only had a couple of stars, and like I said, I'm not sure who called the sauce line, but ain't nobody gonna answer. Only had a couple of stars. Okay, well this guy, he's looking pretty good. I think he had 6 touchdowns before the game, but they had started LTs out. Greg Little starting. Okay, they missed some guys there. Then fucking Jackson goes out. Who was it? Short. You're missing a bunch of guys. I mean, it's just the same situation where you're missing a lot of quality talent, and you're like, okay, well, the Texans are going to take advantage of this. The Texans are going to find a way to exploit this situation and capitalize on it, right? Well, I think we were severely let down. It was just from the start, you saw the Texans never really getting a rhythm. You just kind of wondering, where is the miscommunication happening? Is it Is this O'Brien? Is it Deshaun not having a good game? Is it? I mean, just because it wasn't really. I wouldn't say. He had the two big throws, and there were a couple little intermediate things that may have been missed. But I'm gonna be honest, like. It's really hard for me to judge Deshaun, and I try not to be biased because we've seen the exceptional things that he does. And so with the great things that he does, you kind of, like I said, I often say, you got to take the good with the bad. But people say, oh, well, he should have an idea. He should have that clock. That clock should be running. That clock has been broken for 3 years. There's never been a point where he's had consistency with that clock. So how does he know? How does that clock, like I say, most quarterbacks know about how much time they have before they need to get rid of the ball. I don't think he's had that. And again, like I say, with Bill calling these long developing routes with these not really scheming guys open, it's like, and he's not a guy that wants to give up on a play. It's just not in his nature. You know what I mean? And so I understand why he doesn't throw the ball away, because it's almost the likelihood of him making something out of nothing is just as good as just automatically accepting nothing. I try not to be biased. There are mistakes. He does often miss, little opportunities. But at the same time, again, like I say, the shit that makes him great is with him holding the ball. But anyway, getting around from all that, the defense probably has their best game, in my opinion, as far as creating turnovers. They take advantage of the little dude. They get 3 strip sacks. Offense only capitalizes on one from JJ. But prior to that, there's an opportunity. And I don't know if this is the worst play call Bill O'Brien has ever made in his career as a Houston Texans head coach, but it's probably top 3, if not number 1. Decides to get crafty somewhere in Bill O'Brien's brain, or maybe not even in his brain. As he's scanning that play sheet, something just jumped out at him. Something just said, hey, this is what you need. You're moving the ball. Let's put the ball in Hopkins' hands, but not as a receiver, but as a quarterback. Why, Bill? Why do that? That was the dumbest move that you could have made. Again, and like I said, and if you look at the Panthers, said, oh man, we saw that shit. We saw them run it last year. We saw it against, I forgot what team they said they played that used them on them, not that long ago. So they were expecting the shit. Like it's like, man, come on, man. It's just I don't know. He got too crafty for his own good. And Spitz brought up a good point. You gotta, if you hadn't seen the video before this, and he talks about you got a quarterback. Yeah, it was cool when you had Hoyer or Mallett, or you had these rinky dinks playing quarterback, or you had injuries that you had to deal with. You had to get crafty and creative. You have a relatively healthy lineup. That was after the Steele situation. You have a healthy lineup, because Kuti, if you hadn't acquired Steele's in the trade, you still got Kuti. And you just decide to get creatively stupid. And I think right then, that's when everybody just kind of realized Bill's out of this game. So fast forward to the end of the game. We talk about Bill. I'm going to have to do some research. I'm going to have to Bill's top 5 time management fuck-ups. These are probably 2 of them in one game. One of them being, hey, I'm going to challenge this fucking catch from Christian McCaffrey, who's been busting our ass all game long. Everybody saw that was a catch. And even in the very least, any sensible person realized that it would be extremely hard to overturn that if it was not. Okay. No, you know what, Heidi, you're right. They were laughing. You know what was going on their sideline? Remember last year with the Broncos when old buddy missed the field goal and Bill O'Brien on the you stupid motherfucker. That's what Ron was saying about Bill O'Brien. Is you stupid motherfucker. Like, what are you fucking thinking? But anyway, so that's mistake number 1. Then that leaves you at 1 timeout. And you can't get your guys lined up. You got too many men on the field. You don't have what's the word I'm looking for? But basically, you don't have your shit in order, and you have to blow another timeout. Now you're in the game with no timeouts, and even if there was the faint chance of coming back, you've lost that opportunity. You've lost the ability to capitalize on it because you have no fucking timeouts. Anywho, as y'all all know, it came down to a bunch of fucking field goals. We can talk about Kemah Fairbairn. We can talk about all that other stuff. After this game, we'll start with Wise. After this game, what were your thoughts on the Houston Texans? I mean, it brings us to the point where we are now. What are your current thoughts on the Houston Texans?
I have no feelings towards the Houston Texans anymore. I mean, I have no more optimism towards the Houston Texans anymore. I go into every game and I'm going to watch the game. I still do some shows talking about the Texans and everything, but I'm not going to allow myself to think one moment the Texans going to go and ball out and surprise me. It's no reason for me to even think that anymore. I mean, every single year the same exact thing happens. For some reason, I woke up that morning. Every morning, I wake up with an energy. And that morning, I woke up with the energy. Damn, this was like Tennessee Titans from 2018. I was like, damn, I'm not gonna think bad. I ain't gonna think negative. Texans gonna go out here and win this game like they're supposed to. They only got one job. Romeo Crennel has one job. He has to contain one player. All he has to do is contain Christian McCaffrey. He could have dared Kyle Allen to throw the ball down the field. He could have tested the secondary. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lock down the best player and test the rookie quarterback, or he's not technically a rookie, but he only played 3 games in his NFL career, so technically he's still a rookie. You don't let this guy come out to your home stadium and beat you and embarrass you. Even though it's a close game, that's an embarrassment. To let that guy come in here, win the game. He went to U of H. He went to U of H, and you let him come here and beat y'all. He wasn't even starting at U of H. He got benched at U of H. And you let this man come in here and beat you. But let me not start about that. Let me not talk about that. Goddamn Bill O'Brien. Let me start on this motherfucker here. This crimson chin, clown face motherfucker. I cannot believe this guy. This guy has the audacity when the offense finally starts to get a tempo to run a screen. First of all, I thought it was a screen pass, and I was like, why the fuck do we run wide receiver screen every fucking game? We run wide receiver screen every goddamn game. It's fucking predictable. We run the ball to the left, we run the ball to the right, wide receiver screen. We don't even get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. I'm like, damn, why are we running a wide receiver screen to DeAndre Hopkins? I see DeAndre Hopkins turn. The whole defense attention turned. They all noticed that he was about to throw the ball. My man threw the ball across his body. At that point, I was like, damn, the Texans fucked up. We got lucky it wasn't a pick six. And then I see Kemah Fairbairn. I've been telling y'all for 3 years. You can go back to all the videos since I've been on Sauce. I've been saying Kemah Fairbairn is garbage. He is trash. Yes, to me, he's hype. I heard a lot of people saying, oh, he's 27 for 27. I don't give a fuck if he's 27 for 27, but if you can't make the big kicks at the big moments, you ain't getting the job done. You want to look at the Patriots kickers? They get the job done. You want to look at the Rams kicker hitting 60-yarders? Let's look at Will Lutz from the Saints that hit the 60-yarder against us. That's a kicker. We don't got a kicker. We got an average-ass kicker. That's what we got. And the fact that they cut my man Trevor Daniel, they tested my man Trevor Daniel's job in the offseason. And they didn't give no competition to Fairbairn. He been fucking up. He was looking suspect in the first couple of weeks, and then he fumbles the bag this game. And I'm still not done with these goddamn Texans in this game. Kenny Stills pulls up. When Kenny Stills pulled up for his hamstring, the whole offense changed. The whole dynamic of the offense changed. We wasn't getting the ball to Hopkins. What happened to the tight ends? I seen tight ends in week 3. Where they go week 4? It's like they disappeared. They didn't show up. It's like we didn't get the ball to them. It was a lot of. I gotta give Deshaun Watson some. I gotta talk about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson. I mean, he didn't have a good game. Let me be honest. Deshaun Watson, he held on to the ball a little bit long. But I can't call the whole game of Deshaun Watson because the receivers wasn't creating any separation, and the roster the receivers was running, the route trees that they were running was terrible. We had Kiki Cutie coming back on the field, not even knowing where to line up. How does this man not know how to line up after 2 seasons on this team? That tells me right then and there, Bill O'Brien makes his offense too complex for players to even know how to operate his offense. Deshaun Watson has been in this offense for 3 years. The first season, Bill O'Brien like, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna cater to Deshaun Watson, this and that. Okay, Deshaun Watson balled out, and then he's talking about, oh, I want to implement more of the offense, this and that. And as we see him implement more of the offense, Deshaun Watson has just looked. I mean, Deshaun Watson has the potential to be a superstar in this league. I have the highest hope for Deshaun Watson. I say he's a top 10 quarterback. But right now, Deshaun Watson is looking mediocre under Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is ruining this man's career. And after this game, I said, if they don't get Bill O'Brien out of this city, if they don't get this man out of this franchise, it's gonna hurt Deshaun Watson's career. I don't want to see Deshaun Watson being a Dante Culpepper. I don't want to see Deshaun Watson being a Donovan McNabbs. I don't want to see a Deshaun Watson being a Steve McNair. Yeah, they put up good numbers, but I want to see this guy go ahead and win a Super Bowl. He deserves more. He deserves better. He has the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, and we can't even get him the goddamn ball. And that makes no sense to me because when we had Gary Kubiak, every fucking team in the NFL knew we was going to throw to Andre Johnson. Guess who got the ball? Andre Johnson. We literally will run the same play action pass, the first play of the game, throw a deep post route, and it'll be a goddamn touchdown every fucking game. And we can't even get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. That makes no sense to me. But after this game, I was like, I'm done with the Texans. You know, I mean, they still my team. I love my team. I'm going to still root for them every week, but I'm just not going to have any hope that they're going to win. At this point, it's a huge toss-up. I don't know who's going to win the AFC South. I don't know if the Texans going to go 8-8. I don't know. I'm just hoping that Bill O'Brien get fired at this point because the point it's reached the limit. And at this point, if they don't fire him, I'll go up there and beat his ass. I'm really getting fed up with Bill O'Brien. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Bill got wise about to catch a case, man. Look, don't hurt him. Let him make it, man. He gonna find his way up out here. Look, he's got to have one of the folks who was brave enough to run up on Schaub. See, let him have him run up on Bill. Spitz, man. I don't know your feelings, man. We saw what happened Sunday. How did you feel prior to this game, during this game, and after this game that leads you to the way you feel about the Texans right now?
Coming into this game, if I would have told y'all, this is for you and Wise, and not everybody out there in Sauce Nation, if I would tell y'all that the Panthers only going to score 1 touchdown and we were going to strip sack and get 3 fumbles on the quarterback, you would say what to that?
I would say that we finna blow them out. We finna walk off on this one. It's not even gonna be close.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Exactly. Oh, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, that's good. That's it. Go ahead.
Exactly. And that just right there sums everything up for how I feel. If you look at the numbers of what this game presents you and what you actually got, it just puts everything into perspective. There's no reason to be sitting up here hooping, hollering, and getting mad and getting in our feelings because it is what it is. And it's obviously that we don't have the right guy at the helm. We got the right pieces. We got everything else. Like I said, like I told y'all earlier, half of the NFL would kill for our offensive talent. We are second to nobody in the NFL offensively from a talent standpoint. All the names we got, half of the NFL would kill for this type of talent. People have franchises for 10 years and don't have this type of damn talent. But yet, we can only put up a touchdown at home. The last 3 home games, the playoff game against the Colts, 7 points. The game against Jacksonville, 13 points. This past game, 10 points. Not to mention, the touchdown that you got was an 18-yard drive off of a fumble. It was off of a strip sack. It was an 18-yard drive. It wasn't even down the damn field. You only had 18 yards to get a touchdown. And that's the only touchdown that you got in the game. With all this talent, with Deshaun, with Hop, with Kiki, with whatever, with all this talent, you can only give me one touchdown at home. And you have the nerve and the audacity to try to throw a receiver. He has to throw across the back. I don't fault Hop as a quarterback. He can read defense from a receiver standpoint. He can't read no defense from the quarterback standpoint. It was a corner right there. He doesn't know how to read defense from a quarterback standpoint. So I don't fault him for that. Who I fault is Bill O'Brien. I don't even fault Kemah in this game. You know why? Because there's no reason why we should be kicking field goals. We should be scoring touchdowns in the first damn place. Because we have too much talent up and down this offense for us not to be scoring points. And then our defense is giving us the ball with short fields, and we give them the ball right back. That's a problem. It's like we take a step forward and take 5 steps back. Oh, we look good against the Saints. We trash against Jacksonville. Oh, we beat the Chargers. We lose at home to the Panthers without Cam. What the fuck are we doing? Like, seriously, what are we doing? This makes no sense. And I can't be up here at home. Like, at home, that's when you get your girl, you got your cousin, you bring everybody to come watch this game. And this is the product that you're showing us. And another reason, Deshaun missed some throws. I got to give Deshaun some blame because he had Fuller and he had Hop. He had them both. He overthrew him. He overthrew him. And you see, what did he do after the game? He got dressed, went back on the field, and was working on his throws. See, that right there shows you what type of guy he is, because we all know that Vic was revolutionary. Vic said out of his own mouth when he was in Atlanta, he just wanted it. He said the coordinators used to give him game film. He just take and throw in his backpack. He never looked at game film at all. That's the reason why he never progressed until he got the feel and started learning how to be a quarterback. Well, we got a guy who has all those same type of skill sets, but has the heart to go out there and try to fight. Man, I fucked up today. This shit don't sit well with me. I got to go out there and fix it. What can I do to fix it so I can play better? Because as good as I am, as good as my teammates is, the way they depend on me, we can't be putting up 10 points at home. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's an absolute problem. And we supposed to have a guru at our head coach, a quarterback guru. Remember, that's the bill that was sold to us. He's a quarterback whisperer. Well, shit, maybe he needs to start yelling because his whispers ain't working. He started yelling because his whispering ain't working. Because he whispers so quiet, can't nobody hear him. Like what? I think.
The funny thing about that though is, for him to be the quarterback guru, but he's most known for yelling. That's what everybody knows for yelling at Tom Brady. He's no quarterback whisperer. He's known for yelling at Tom Brady. Had they not been on the sideline, I think Tom would have put them hands on him. You know what I'm saying? Really, I really don't think he wanted that smoke. You know how I be whenever I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been to the club, but you ever, you've been out somewhere and somebody, they kind of barking a little bit, and what's up? Let's make something happen. Then they kind of quiet, but then the laws of security start coming. Then they start getting real loud. They start getting big dogs. They start barking real loud because they know they finna get held back or they partners come back. That's what Billy O was out there doing. He knew that if they would have got to scrap it on the sidelines, it would have been a bad look. So he started getting loud when somebody's gonna hold it back. Yeah, he ain't want that work with Tom. Tom was gonna put that TB12 on the TB12.
He gonna put that workout plan on.
I just don't understand who the fuck do Bill O'Brien think he is. He go after Tom Brady. You listen to him after his interviews. He just like, it's a loss. Yeah, that's on me. Like, come on, fam.
And then he always said, well, it's something that you guys don't talk about, or you really don't know if you don't play. Like, stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. And Honcho, I know you got some issues with Coob. I know you said before that you really want a Coob fan, but like why I said our receivers don't get open. Now, the only time I know Hop ain't the best at getting separation. Like that's why Hop ain't really the best separation. But out of Steels and Fuller, they fast. Only time they really get open is when they run and go routes. That's the only time when they run and flies. That's the only time they really get open. Why is that? But with Kubiak, like why I said, everybody in the whole league knew who we was throwing to. We was throwing the number 80. They were tripling, doubling, tripling, and quadruple teaming. The ball was always going to 80. But 80 was always wide open. 80 was wide open 80% of the time. He was always wide open. Always. And everybody knew that's where we were going. We have nobody else. Everybody know we going to 80, and he's still getting open. Why is that? Because Kubiak schemed him to be open. Why Bill O'Brien can't? All these people, he can't scheme nobody to be open. He can't scheme no, because you're gonna double team Hop. You're not gonna leave Hop 1-on-1. You can't scheme nobody else to be open. Really? What? I want to know really what is their game plan? What are they doing? I bet because Deshaun strikes me as somebody that's very, very educated. I'm pretty sure that Deshaun be at practice watching film and Bill O'Brien giving him plays. He'd be like, "This dumb motherfucker here. What the fuck? What's this?" He be looking. I bet him and what you call it? Look at each other like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know.
So
I mean, he be looking at TJ Yates like, really, TJ? And TJ like, I just work here. It's above me now. It's above me. Like, what is they doing out there? That's the reason why I want a former quarterback as a head coach. Somebody who knows the position, because Bill O'Brien, if I'm not mistaken, when he played at Brown, he was a linebacker. How did he get this offense? He was a linebacker in college. What is offense? He was a linebacker.
Exactly. For Brown, he got down at Brown. Man, look, Jack, and that's what I say. It's just somebody. How does that work? That you go from linebacker to QB guru, to who's never been a guru, you've never made a quarterback better, but you get the guru label somehow for yelling at Tom Brady. Like, again, this is all a product of, so Luke say, the Belichick tree, but there's some truth to that, because all the hype you get, you can be a mediocre quarterback, but because you coached under Bill Belichick, I guess that it gives you some type of brownie points or credibility. Like, come on, man, let's be honest. There's not much different at this point between Bill O'Brien, and I'll say it again, Marvin Lewis. What's the real difference in the two?
No difference.
Texas fans sit here and clown the Bengals all day and talk shit about the Bengals all day. But what is the difference between what Bill O'Brien has brought to the table and what Marvin Lewis did in his tenure with the Bengals? A bunch of first-round exits. Bill O'Brien's only playoff win against Connor Cook. That's his only playoff win. That's the only playoff game he was relatively close in. This guy's not the guy that's going to get you to the promised land, man. What you got there, Spitz?
Also, Kubiak had a longer tenure. Kubiak was here for more years.
Yeah.
But you do know that the worst losses in franchise history come under Bill O'Brien. The only time we've ever been shut out in the franchise history, it has happened twice. One in the playoff game, one on Thursday night. Who was the head coach? Bill O'Brien. Also, the 42-0 start against Miami. Who was that? And that's the only time in our franchise history that we lost to the Dolphins. We were 6-0 or 8-0 going into that game against Miami. That's the only time we've ever lost to the Dolphins, and you spot them 42 points at halftime. Then also the game against Atlanta as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Like the worst 5 losses in franchise history come under this guy, and he has a shorter tenure. Most of the time, you get losses because you had a longer tenure. So yeah, you're gonna end up having a real bad loss. So in a shorter period of time, you have 5 of the worst losses in franchise history, and you have the shortest tenure. That makes no sense.
All right, I do believe he's going through a midlife crisis. There's something going on. But here's another thing, and here's a caveat. I know a lot of people, you guys are not giving Bill O'Brien credit. Look, I'll take the division titles. I want Super Bowl, I want AFC. But you also you can't look at just the numbers, and that's the problem. People just love to look at just the numbers.
Three-time AFC champ.
Come on, Brian.
Nigga, what?
But here's my thing. Here's my thing. Here's my deal. It's like you have to look at the circumstances that played into all of this. Bill capitalized when this division was considered, hands down, the weakest division in the NFL. Hands down, we're talking about when you were going against the Titans. Who was it?
Mettenberger.
The Mettenbergers. Where's Mettenberger now? You know, like I said, where's Connor Cook now? Where is, and he's not a division guy, but that's the win you get. You know, when the Jags were terrible, when Jags couldn't win a game to save their life, picking first every fucking draft. You know, the Titans they've always been mediocre. Fuck the Titans. You know, when the Colts were going through their transitional phase, like, there were times that he just took advantage for having a relatively healthy team, and you just stay healthy, you damn near gonna win the division. So, not to take it away, you got to beat who you got to beat. You got to play who you got to play, but let's not act like, you know, that Bill O'Brien has been beating some of the most dominant teams in the league. He had a fair situation, and to me, and people may or may not disagree, I feel like that's the same advantage Brady's had a lot of his career. Come on, let's be honest: the Bills, the Dolphins.
That's the worst division in the league because Brady spotted 5 to 6 wins every year.
Yeah,
but
he takes it. Then he takes it to the Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah. At least that.
We might as well be in that division. We play the Patriots every year, and we lose every year. So count us in that division. We AFC East too. Shit.
Damn. AFC Southeast. Goddamn. But that's what I'm saying though. But that's my thing. Is like, I'm not even tripping on you taking advantage of your division. You got to play who you got to play. But when you look at the Brady situation, when you look at the Patriots situation, this shit ass division. But when it comes playoff time, they're ready to go. When they play opponents outside of their division, they still spanking them motherfuckers. Like, it just is what it is. That's my issue with the Texans, and I'm not knocking, but like I said, I'm going to give you credit for what you've done. You got the wins. It's on your record. I can't take that off. But let's not act like Bill O'Brien just came out there and was just smacking motherfuckers around. He squeaked by with a lot of wins. What you got there, Spitz?
I'm going to throw out a caveat, and it goes both ways. Because me and the guy I work with actually talking about this, about the AFC, because he happened to be a Titans fan. And he always talks about how the Patriots gets on his nerves. And I say, yeah, you're right, because they are always – that's one of the reasons why they get bye weeks is because they're in the worst division, so they're spotted 5 to 6 games a year. The flip side, the Texas division hasn't been on that good either, but yet we got spotted 5 to 6 wins because we play down to our at least the Patriots take care of business against the bad teams. We will split with the Titans here and there. We might sweep Jacksonville, but we split with the Titans. Might split with the Colts. But like the only team that we really take care of business is against Jacksonville outside 17. So we don't take advantage when we should be taking advantage of. Like it's games that we should take advantage that we don't because we want to play down to our competition. Like the whole 9-game win streak. Yeah, that was cool. But some of those games we should have had better. There should be better victories. The Broncos, the Redskins, the Bills. Some of those games should have been better type of victories. Like we should have more games like the Dolphins win. Like that was a convincing win against a bad team. Okay. Cleveland, we dominated in the first half, but we started letting them come back in the second half. And then you also, you have the whole Justin Reed strip forced fumble at the goal line. That could have that right there. If that's not a strip fumble, that's a touchdown. Who knows how we looking at that game? That it could end up being a loss. That could be one of those comeback games that we just be like, damn, how the fuck did we lose that game? So we don't take advantage of when we're supposed to take advantage. And the thing that's so mind-boggling is because we have the players to do it. It has to be the guy who's controlling the helm with the headsets on, who I don't know if it seems like sometimes when we play the primetime games and we play against the Bill Belichick, he gets mind fucked. Like he doesn't know what's going on. It's because he's a guy who's never been in that type of situation. Brings me back to what I said earlier. I would much rather, if we're gonna go with an offensive-minded head coach, I would much rather a guy who's played the position before because he done it already. Like I know how it is to be in this situation. I see the same thing that you see. I'm not out here giving you a perspective from a linebacker. I'm giving you a perspective from a quarterback. This is what I seen this too. Okay, this is what you need to do over here. Next play, you do this here. Like we need somebody with that type of energy and that type of feel to a game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because you take a look at it, and again, like I say, I know somebody said Romo as a coach. I'm not on that train, but I mean, you just look at the perspective some of these quarterbacks have when they call games, and they see something completely different than everybody else. They have a different view, so they're seeing certain things. So I can agree with you on that. Like, cause if y'all didn't see the video, you had mentioned who was Kellen Moore, Leftwich and
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley, man.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and if you
And,
wouldn't mind,
and Lincoln Riley's a former quarterback.
yeah, and if you wouldn't mind, like I said before, we get ready to wind up, go into and give the folks who might have missed that, your background on why you chose those guys, because some folks might not have caught that. So kind of explain that if you don't mind.
Okay, I've been watching, and actually I've been watching since the Jazz game. I've been looking at other guys offensively, looking at some of the coaching staff and seeing some of the game plans. And I'm looking at the things that Byron is doing. He's the offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays down there in Tampa Bay. And I'm looking at what he's been doing for the past couple weeks. This is he's been the offensive coordinator this is his third year, if I'm not mistaken. But it's his first year with Tampa. It's his first year calling plays. And Jameis was just awarded NFC Player of the Week this week offensively, and he's been playing well. Now, of course, Jameis still turned the ball over. That's just Jameis being Jameis. But from the game plan standpoint, I'm looking at it specifically from the way he calls the plays, the plan that he's giving. It's a damn good ass plan, and I'm just looking like Deshaun's better than Jameis Winston. We have better weapons than the Tampa Bay. If you give Byron this type of offense, what can he do? Same thing with Kellen Moore. I know that the Cowboys didn't really look all that good against the Saints offensively, but coming into this week, Dak was up there on all the quarterback categories. He was up there on all the quarterback sets. He won I think he's third behind Pat and Tom Brady in MVP as early on to the season. Kellen Moore is his first year offensive coordinator. He was a quarterbacks coach last year, if I'm not mistaken, but he wasn't an offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays, his game plan as well. And then looking at Lincoln Riley out there in Oklahoma, seeing what he did with 3 back-to-back and now back-to-back transfers in Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, taking both of them, not only winning Heisman's, but making them number 1 overall draft picks, and what he's doing to Jalen Hurts. Now people are talking about Jalen Hurts as a legitimate NFL quarterback. People weren't saying that 2 years ago when he was getting benched for 2 in the middle of a national championship game. The way he got those guys looking, Deshaun has all the same exact skill sets that they have. If not, he is better than all those guys. So he's a guy who knows how to coach a mobile quarterback, know how to get the ball out quick. And again, if you give him the same type of talent that we have in Houston, what could he do from an offensive standpoint? Those are just names I'm just looking at. And then Lincoln Riley, he's been coaching for a while. He's been coaching since 2003 as a receivers coach at Tech, and also some other things out there at East Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, before he got the head coaching job at Oklahoma. So he's a guy who's been coaching for a while. He has the longest tenure as a coach. Both Byron and Kellen Moore are new to it. It's coaching. They've been coaching only for a couple years, but all 3 of them have one thing in common. They're offensive minded because they're all former quarterbacks. They see the game from a different perspective, a perspective they can relate to with Deshaun. Deshaun can come to them and show them, hey, this is what I'm looking at. And they know exactly what he's talking about because all 3 of them played the position at a high level.
Well, Bill O'Brien said, well, as a linebacker, this is what I'm saying when I see you. So you should be thinking, come on, you a former linebacker. You ain't even have him ready for what Kuechly was out there doing. Kuechly had them boys tossed up, man. They ain't know what to do. So, like I said, it is what it is, and I agree. Like I said, you brought up some very good names, and I agree with all 3 of those. Like I said, I got to get. Like I said, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to Lincoln. He's a name that I've seen a couple people drop, so I will kind of look at that. But like you mentioned with the Hurts, the Mayfield, and the Murray guys that have transferred, and it instantly had these guys in the conversation, shows that he can come in and do something right away. He's doing something immediately. Now, let's not forget the NFL and the college game are 2 different things, but that's a good sign for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these are guys who I don't really know. Kyler Murray's situation was a little bit different than A&M because I think it was a mishandled situation. But both Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts got their jobs taken. Like Baker Mayfield left Texas Tech because he couldn't compete with Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts got benched for Tua. So these are guys who basically didn't know what they were going to be doing offensively because they were looked at as backups, and yet he's making them look like stars. He just knows how to. It's more so that he knows how to handle that type of style of quarterback. I don't think Bill O'Brien, even if you want to give him the quarterback guru, whisperer title, whatever, does he know how to handle this type of style of quarterback? Because Deshaun is a perfect match between a runner and a passer. he doesn't run the best as all the runners, but he runs extremely well. He doesn't pass as well as all the passers, but he passes extremely well. He's a perfect mix. I think he's the best dual threat quarterback that we've seen in a long time. So he has a perfect mix of both skills, and I think that Lincoln Riley knows how to handle that from that standpoint.
Exactly. Okay. So like I said, we're gonna get ready to wind it down. We just want to, in one sentence, because like I say, we're gonna get a little bit deeper off into Atlanta, and I'm gonna have some things dropping tomorrow, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. In one sentence, we'll start with Wise, man. What are your feelings prior to going into this Atlanta game? I ain't gonna even try to restrain you to one sentence. What are your thoughts going into this Atlanta game?
First of all, first thing I want to say is how many backup quarterbacks has Bill O'Brien lost to, or won a game within 3 points against? I'm gonna have to make a video on that. I'm gonna have to drop.
The man is one of the luckiest coaches in the game. Because I've never seen a coach that has faced so many backup QBs, injured teams, or star player and not really capitalize on the job is done. We just talked about earlier about taking out the best player. Sometimes it's done naturally for you, and you still don't capitalize on it. It's just like, come on, man.
But going into Atlanta, I mean, I have more confidence about Deshaun Watson. I have confidence that Deshaun Watson is going to be able to get DeAndre Hopkins the ball. However, we got to go against Desmond Trufant. So hopefully they can scheme up a game plan that we've seen from week 3, that we've seen week 1. Hopefully. I don't know how the Texans are going to play this game. The Atlanta Falcons are hungry. They are 1-3. I mean 1-2. Or no, they're 1-3, correct?
Yeah, they're 1-3. Yeah.
Oh, they definitely not starting 1-4. So my one sentence going into this game is Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Mohamed Sanu, Deontay Foreman. I mean not Deontay Foreman, Deontay Freeman, and Matty Ice combining for 500 plus yards on our defense. Texans lose, close game by 3 points. That's how I feel. We're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's how you feel. Tell them that's how you feel. Spence, man, you looking at this Falcons game coming up, man. What are your brief thoughts on I fucking hate Professor Trill. What are your thoughts, man? Just looking at this Falcons game, man. What is the initial things that come to mind?
Coming into the season, I thought Texas would be 2-2 at this standpoint because I thought we would lose to the Chargers, but beat Carolina, and I thought that they would lose to the Falcons, and I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna stick to that because, for some reason, we can't put up points at home. I don't know what it is, but some reason when we at home, when we on Kirby, it ain't Kirby. I don't know. We not ourselves. So I don't know offensively what type of game plan that we're going to come across with. I just think that this Falcons offense can put up points, and I think against this defense they probably will. The thing is, I think the Titans sacked Matt Ryan 5 times, so I do think that we'll be able to get to the quarterback. But as last week showed you, we forced a quarterback to fumble 3 times, and we still lost the game. So that actually means absolutely nothing. No matter how many times we can get to Matty Ice 10 times, we still might fucking lose the game. Who knows? So I do think they'll be able to get to the quarterback some. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't have faith in this offense, because I actually have faith in the offense players. It's the guy who's making the decisions between Bill O'Brien / Tim Kelly. We all know it's Bill O'Brien. Come on, we all know. Like Honcho, I think you alluded to this before, that was just a PR. That was just a PR move. That was just something. So people were like, "Oh, we actually have an offense coordinator." We know we don't. Bill O'Brien is still the guy. When you elevate somebody that's already on your coaching staff, and that's a guy that nobody knew about. Like who knew Tim? Who was clamoring for Tim Kelly before? It wasn't like we were already clamoring for, like, hey man, this dude should be the offense coordinator. Right? Kind of like we did with Vrabel. We actually were people talking about bringing Vrabel up from being the linebackers coach to defensive coordinator. So that was probably more legitimate. This right here was well, shit, let me just hire somebody that's been with me this whole time. Hey, I'm gonna just give you the title. Hey, you the offense coordinator. What you gonna do is you gonna set up the offensive meeting. You gonna put the little cups in the tables and the chairs. You gonna make sure the meeting look all nice. You gonna put the little cheese crackers, have everything look nice and presentable. I'm still running the damn offense. That's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. So don't let it get twisted. It's Bill O'Brien calling the offense, and that's who I don't have faith in. I don't have faith in him calling this offense because obviously he don't know what the fuck he's doing. If nothing else has showed you, last week showed you when you got DeAndre Hopkins throwing passes when you have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback in the red zone, mind you. That made no sense. That right there show you that he don't know what he's doing offensively because I'm pretty sure there's 32 teams in the league. You gave it to all 32 coaches, all 32 offensive coordinators. If they would did the exact same thing, they would say, fuck no. Bill O'Brien's the only one. I mean 31. Because Bill O'Brien, the only coach that was going to do it was the coach that we have in Houston. He's the only one who thought, that's a good idea. I seen something on film that I'm going to give the ball to number 10 and have him throw to number 23. That's amazing. I'm gonna look like a genius. I'm gonna look like a freaking genius. They're gonna love me. They're gonna love me after the day. Get out of here.
That shit there is wild, man. Man, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I don't know who's gonna show up. I made a point in the 5 takes after this that this team is yet to play a complete game. I have not seen the offense show up for 4 quarters. Haven't seen the defense show up for 4 quarters. You might get a half out of your offense. You know, maybe some of the Saints game started out early. First half, solid. Disappeared in the second. Defense started out solid. We held the Saints to, 3 in the first half? Then let them, score 27 in the second? You know, the offense doesn't show up for the Carolina game. Defense plays a solid game. Like, I just want to see. I'll take 2 out of the 3. If you win 2 out of the 3 phases, you can't really expect all 3 phases to be in sync. When all 3 phases are in sync, it's going to be a dominant outing, you know. But I'll take 2. I'll take defense and special teams just on point. Now I don't want to say that. Offense got to be one of them because shit, we need some points on the board. But I'd just like to see offense and defense be on the same fucking page for a game, and that is, however you want to look at it. It falls on the head of the snake, and that's Bill O'Brien. That's discipline. You would never see the Pats, as much as we love to compare him to the Pats, and he's the Patriots coach. You don't see these things coming out of New England. Why is that? Because Bill Belichick ain't having that shit. You know, 2 little things real quick, and then we're going to wind it down. And one of those things is, you saw how quick they got rid of AB. I don't think it even had anything to do with AB's situation with the sexual or the text or anything. I think they got rid of AB because Belichick is not going to have any one player overshadow anything. And all the questions were about AB. That man got tired of that shit, walked off from the fucking press conference. 5 minutes later, AB calling from the team, man. Like, it wasn't this shit. They knew about the text message and everything. Bill Belichick was not finna have anybody. Nobody's bigger than the Patriots organization. Don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? That's my personal feel. Like, I feel like he was like, man, look, I'm tired of these fucking these questions. I don't want to hear about this motherfucker no more. He's a distraction. Get him out of here. That's my thoughts on that. And then, so like I said, we don't have that as much as I think Jay Dizzle said a while back that Billy O's a fake tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my issue with him. He's a fake tough guy. And he tries to play this role, but he's not really that guy. But aside from all the Texans, aside from all the stuff, let's wrap it up on a lighter note. How many of y'all, we'll do a quick poll, and I want to know in the round, how many of y'all heard that Rain from Dame Dollar, the Shaq diss?
You worth the meal, but got traded for Penny.
Man, that Dame, like, look, most athletes should stay far away from a microphone, but Dame got a little flow, man. Dame had
he do.
Did Shaq actually drop a diss back? I didn't hear Shaq come back. Shaq can't rap. Y'all can't sell me.
Shaq had a track. That Dame's was a response because Shaq had the track first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, like Shaq's rap sounds like a basketball player rapping.
Like his old
Dame, Dame, if you did not know that Damian Lillard was Damian Lillard, you would think he's a rapper. Like he sounds like a rapper. He legitimately said him and Stack, like they sound like rappers. Stack sound like a rapper too. Stack can go.
Yeah, man. Shaq rap like somebody granddad.
Yeah, Shaq. Yeah, Shaq. Like I mean, cause Dame got on everything. Got on about the Lakers, the Heat, the Magic, his shoes, his movies. Like
talk about him paying for the hoes. He talked about everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and hear Shaq shit. Even though I know I'm probably gonna be underwhelmed. Let me be honest. I've never been a Shaq fan for anything, dog. Like I had a cousin. This motherfucker was the biggest Shaq loving motherfucker. Shaq Fu, man, he got a game. Shaq, man, fuck Shaq. Fuck you and fuck Shaq Fu, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga used to just love anything with Shaq in it, dog. Fucking, he had a Shaq shirt. And this is right around the time, like I say, this is when Shaq played for the Magic. And this is around the time that the Rockets and the Magic went at it. This motherfucker was the biggest Shaq fan. Like, I want to fight that nigga. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you have just because man, you see how big that nigga is, man. Man, fuck that dude. That's your whole logic. Look how big he had a shirt. He had like a signed Shaq shirt. I wanted to fucking fuck that hoe. I wanted to bleach that bitch. I hated Shaq so much, dog. When I was young, that nigga just was a Shaq head. You know, I was calling us Texans crackheads. He was a Shaq head. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Gentlemen.
Hold on, fam. Hold on. Look. I was saying, don't do it to yourself. You never finish your statement about this game, Honcho. I'm not gonna let you slide.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna let you slide.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna do it to yourself, I gotta witness it.
All right. This game, yes, this game here, man. Whew. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be getting distracted. I'll be looking at buttons, reading chats, and all this other shit. I don't think it's gonna be a good look. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And the reason why I say that is even if our offense does show up, so far this season they've had good game. Well, they had the good game against the Chargers. They had a solid game against New Orleans, but I haven't seen that high-powered potential that I think that they would, and need to be. And I think, like you said about ATL being hungry, man, they got a couple of guys over there that you might say are pretty decent receivers. I don't think that we have the talent in the secondary to stop those guys. As much as I like Lonnie is kind of here and there. He has his ups and downs. J.Jo's giving too much cushion and shit. Roby has great coverage, but he doesn't make any plays on the ball. So that's like my beef with Roby is like, yeah, he's there. And you ain't gonna get no yak yards, but you're going to get the completion. So, what is the point? You know what I mean? So, like I say, it's just like I'm not going to say that I'm overly confident. I think it's going to be a closer than you like game, and we may not be on the favorable side.
You know who Roby reminds me of?
Who's that?
I might disagree. He reminds me of a fast Malcolm Butler. A guy who's there but gets caught on all the time. Yeah. Because that's... Cause Malcolm Butler's not fast, so Malcolm Butler gets beat over the top. But in other routes, Malcolm Butler be there, he just get caught on. That's kind of what Roby does. Roby be right there, but get caught on every time. I'm like, damn, bro.
Snag, like not even caught on, snag. Like Keenan Allen just had Roby in his hand and the ball in his hand and took him down to the ground.
Yeah, like he like a fast Malcolm Butler.
Jesus.
That's sad. That's really sad because I can't stand no fucking Malcolm Butler. And Brian Brody Calhoun, come on. That's what I'm saying. Like that, you just go back.
We found a safety. Dude, what's his name?
Mike Adams. Yeah. I forgot all about motherfucking Mike Adams.
Oh my God. How old is Mike Adams, Honcho? How old is this man?
This man has been around the world. Yeah, man.
This man been in the league since I was a little kid, fam. Come on. Oh man, get the fuck out of here, Texans. I mean, you got Eric Berry sitting at home.
Cooling.
You give everybody else 1 year. You gave Matt Khalil a 1 year contract. A 1 year contract. You gave Tashawn Gibson a 1 year contract.
38. Shut the fuck up.
You gave Roby a 1 year contract, and you giving Mike Adams, 38-year-old, Oh, man.
Yeah. I know we still paying Matt Khalil, right?
Oh yeah, we paying
Yeah,
Khalil.
no.
We paying Colvin. Shit, we still
Yeah.
paying Brian
Cause-
Game. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Technically,
We still paying Cloudy.
oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
We're paying everybody. We're paying a bunch of people who are doing nothing for this organization. Shit, look, Texas, look, y'all can throw some money. Y'all ain't got, y'all just want to blow it. I'll talk shit about you. I'll give you what you want. Fuck it. Just throw some money over to the south. Look, we're paying all these people who are not contributing to this organization in no way. Still paying Ed Reed's top.
Oh man, I just have to bring that up before we ended the show because that's the type of organizational moves the Texans make. Bill O'Brien is ruining this franchise. He already gambled our future away. If this team goes to shit this season and this team goes to shit next season, there's nothing we can do about it. We're stuck with this team for the next 5 seasons,
And
at least.
that's the point I wanted to make too, because somebody asked about my thoughts, and I know I'm on team fire Bill O'Brien, but it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't matter if you fire him or not, because if you just, it's almost like you might as well let him stay and pray. You got to get him to stay and pray, because once he's gone, somebody has to try to come in here, and they have no choice. It's like, it's a situation where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get his guys out of here. I'm going to get some of my own. You don't have any draft picks to get your own guys in here. So, I mean, you're gonna start off in the 3rd round. You'll get you a 2nd round, I think, a year after that. You really don't have the assets to wheel and deal. Like, if y'all want somebody to come in here and clean house after Bill O'Brien, expect some of your favorite names to be put in conversations that y'all ain't going to want to hear. Because that's what's going to happen. Like, and then with Whitney Merciless playing the way he want to play. Look, half of y'all last year said he was washed. Y'all going to have to pay. Now Whitney's in the, pay him conversation. Because everybody was talking about, you got to pay Watt, you got to pay Hopkins, you got to pay Watson, you got to pay Tunsil. Now you're going to have to pay Whitney if you want this production. And y'all don't hear that.
No. Y'all better try to pay Whitney now before you win Defensive Player of the Year on your ass, and that bag really go up. Exactly. That's what y'all want. That's what y'all better do.
Sam, I want to see those same people that said Jadeveon Clowney wasn't worth $15 million appear when Whitney Merciless get this $15 million, $16, $17 million he's going to get this season, all season, per year. It's going to happen. If the Texans don't pay him, he's going to walk.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be the same thing we've been seeing.
Do you know how many people you got to pay? Like
DJ Reader, Will Fuller, Deshaun Watson. I mean,
Tunsil. Yeah, you gotta pay Tunsil. You just gave him 2 first-round picks. You gotta pay Tunsil. You gotta pay Tunsil.
You gotta pay Tunsil.
And you gotta pay Deshaun. One, you gotta pay Deshaun before Trubisky get a bag, because Deshaun way worth more than Trubisky. Yeah. So you got. So wherever Trubisky get, you're going to have to triple it for Deshaun.
And then you got to consider, too, after this year, what is your corner situation like? Because J. Joe is out of there. Roby's a 1-year guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you are in a predicament after this season. Let's just enjoy the ride and just see what happens. Because it's so much. Oh, when Mahomes is paid, it's going to be over with, because he's going to get $200 million. And then, like I say,
he get 200 easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easy.
It's gonna be ugly. Look, hey y'all, this is just the beginning, so I hope you guys enjoy. Enjoy the season, because it's gonna get. If this season does not end well, it's going to be ugly for the Texans. Hey Kenneth, I'm glad you popped up. I want to say something to Kenneth real quick. Kenneth, I'm gonna make you a deal, man. I will give you moderator status, Kenneth, if you bring that report card up to all A's. I'll let you be a moderator not only in the sauce, but I will also let you be a moderator in the den. That's the deal I'm going to give you. If you show me a non-fabricated report card with all A's, I'll make that deal for you. I'm trying to motivate you to do better. I know it ain't going to happen because you ain't got it in you. You ain't built like that. But what you were saying there? You was about to say something, Wise?
Oh, no, I thought Spence was about to say something.
Okay, how about it? Yeah. Kenneth ain't even got an A in football class, man. That's terrible. Kenneth's failing football class. But here's the deal, man. We finna get ready to wind it down. So
I did have something I wanted to say.
What you got?
Because of what you just said, and just say we do fire. Just say we do fire Bill O'Brien. Because we also need a general manager as well. Who would want this job with the assets that we do not have and the people that we do have to pay? Just say, who in their right mind from a general man, because I think it'll be easy to find a coach because we have a lot of offensive talent, so it'll be easy to find a coach. But from a general manager standpoint, who would want this job? I can't draft nobody because I don't have no draft assets. Then I gotta pay half my damn team. Who would want this job? Who can you entice to come here? Like I just wonder who would take this job.
We might be like the Jets and go pick up a losing coach in Adam Gase. That's the type of team the Texans. That's the type of things the Texans do. That's exactly what the Texans do. They'll go pick up an Adam Gase type of dude. They'll go pick up a coach from a losing team and make him their head coach.
Hey, no, how much did Brian Gaines get?
Well, I forgot what he get. They extended him as soon as he got in, right? They gave him like a. That's so crazy.
It was like a 3-year extension. Yeah, so he had 4 years total.
Yeah, so then they fired him.
Let's just say, so y'all don't know how much he got. Like y'all don't know much. It was what? Sure. I know. It was a 4-year deal. I don't know how many he was getting. Yeah. We just gonna say it was a 4-year deal for $4 million. We just say it was a 4-year deal for $4 million. Cal, listen, Cal. I'm here for you. Listen. I'll take two. I'll do the job for 2. I'll do it for 2, baby. Hey, we here, right? Hey, listen, Linda, listen. All this good shit I'm giving you for free, you can get this and much more. $2 million, baby. It's all $2 million. Stop it.
The throat is GM.
The whole round table, we got the GM, the head coach, offensive coordinator, scout.
You already got a crew at running the gym. They already got 5-6 motherfuckers. We'll just slide the round table into that position. We'll just scoot them out, slide the round table in there. We good.
Hey, they already have the office set up. Got the right amount of chairs and everything. We good. Hey,
look. And then shit, you can slide. You can go ahead and slide Vandermeer and all the rest of them out. We'll do the shows too. Look, we'll do all of it, man. Look, we're talking about we're gonna give you a bargain deal. What y'all? Come on, Cal. Come on, Cal. Stop tripping, man.
Hey, we are here for y'all. We here for you.
Yeah.
We here.
Shit, we'll switch up the swag on the jerseys, everything, man. I mean,
whole
culture will be changed.
Man, we trying to help y'all out, man.
We have about to tripping.
Oh man.
Look, Deshaun will come out perfect. Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Oh, we'll be live and fire though. Look, anything got to be better than rock and roll. Touchdown, Texans. That ain't the worst thing in the
touchdown. Perfect.
I can't fuck with y'all, man. Man, look, y'all got anything y'all want to say when we slide up out of here, man?
Man, shout out to Sauce Nation. Shout out to all of y'all watching the video. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to everybody in the round table. Make sure y'all keep showing love to Honcho. Get him to 6K. Y'all need to get him to 6K ASAP. Got to be at 10K by next next season. Let's get it done, Sauce Nation. Share the video. Sauce Sports is taking over the whole city. Don't let the other stations say they this and that. They the leader in sports. No, Sauce Sports is the leader in sports. Get it motherfucking straight.
We're taking over one city at a time.
Tell y'all, look, it's a lot coming, man. I'm telling y'all, stay tuned, man. It's gonna be a lot of, like I said, just once now that I'm comfortable, settled in. We finna step it up a notch. So like I said, I set a goal for this month to shit on last month. So. And then the goal for next month is to shit on this month. So, like, we finna start really going in. Spitz, you got anything you want to say before we slide up out of here, man?
Man, shout out to Sauce Nation. Shout out to Wise and Honcho and everybody else on the round table. Hey, appreciate y'all coming. Like Wise said, like it. You gotta like it. Remember, because of y'all didn't like it, JJ missed the sack. Remember?
We told y'all.
Y'all. We out here we supposed to be blaming y'all. See, y'all did not like the street. You gotta like. See, you gotta like. Start liking this. Don't like it. You want big players to come in big time moments. You gotta like the stream. You gotta like the sauce. Check out my video when I broke down about the whole coaching things. If y'all didn't get a chance to check it out, check that out. Also, some people who subscribe to my channel, thank y'all because I have reached 2,000. So appreciate that. Appreciate the love. If you haven't subscribed, come subscribe. But just shout out to everybody out there. Hopefully, we can have a better showing at home. But we gonna see. But shout out to Sauce Nation.
Already shout out to Spitz, man. Like I say, man, congratulations on the 2K, and I know many more on the way. Like I say, man, it's just, look, man, we just want to have fun with this thing. You know, some of y'all take it personal. Some of y'all be getting upset. Y'all got to understand some things, especially from our perspective, because we know how it goes. If the Texans do bad, it's bad for us because y'all just stop watching. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just stop watching everything Texas related. So we going to have fun with it, whether it make you mad or not. We going to enjoy this shit because we going to be here. You feel me? But we appreciate all y'all who stick with it through, thick and thin. You know, everybody who shares their opinion, especially in the chat, everybody, who hits the line. I know we didn't take calls tonight, but, those of you who call in, those of you who support, like I said, consider joining the Patreon, the Sauce Sports Patreon. Going to start dropping tomorrow a private podcast. And I was thinking about, doing it public, but we give a lot of regular content. So we're going to have a private podcast for all of you who are supporting via Patreon and get a little bit more uncut sauce. Something for the secret ingredients for the Patreon supporters. So just to show some appreciation for all of y'all. So look out for that tomorrow, probably mid-afternoonish. But, man, I just want to say thank all of y'all. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being a part of this. And shout out to Spitz, shout out to Wise, shout out to Tin Man, shout out to Ray, shout out to Wink, shout out to Hector. I don't know what happened to Hector. He might have had some technical difficulty, but shout out to him. But Hector been putting in a lot of work, man. I want to say shout out to Hector. He definitely been holding down Sauce Sports TV. And make sure y'all are subscribed to Sauce Sports TV because, like I said, it's about to be Rocket season. We're not going to talk about them hoe-ass Magic. We're only going to talk about the Rockets. But,
hey, now, y'all talk about drinking Kool-Aid. I've been tripping all. Y'all talk about drinking Kool-Aid. I've been killing this dude all summer. I've been watching some tape on Folks. I'm drinking the blue Kool-Aid on Markel Folks. Like I'm actually drinking. I'm like, Folks actually look good. I've been killing them all summer. I'm like, he look good at training camp. I'm impressed. I'm intrigued.
His film was looking good. I ain't gonna even lie to you. He was supposed to be the next James Harden when he came out of college, but something happened to his shoulder.
Yeah, he had the shoulder injury, and I have issues. I don't think that he's going to recover. I didn't think he was going to recover from the injury. But what I've seen for the past 2 weeks, and we started training camp last week. What I've been seeing from him for the past couple of days, especially, he's looking pretty nice. Like the shot looking that we gonna see how it look in a real game. Because this is practice. Ain't got no defense. He wide open. When the game starts, I'm gonna see. But I have a different thought about it. I have a different thought about it than I did a month ago. But that's just a little spiel right there. No talk about the Magic. Hey, we can't be in the we can't be in the Western Conference Finals like y'all. We don't got James Harden. Y'all got James.
Y'all gonna be there, man. Y'all just keep believing in magic. Do you believe in magic? Y'all will be there pretty soon, man. But yeah, man. Shout out to Sticky. Shout out to Stevie Rose. Shout out to Josh Beard. Shout out to it's a couple other folks I want to shout out to, man. Because y'all know around here it's all love, man. It ain't no hate, man. We all supporting the same team, same cause. It's nothing but love, man.
Texas Palace,
man. Shout out if you're not following Texas Palace on the gram, you tripping. Shout out to Texans Unfiltered Podcast. Shout out to David Lale at Texans Takeover, the Facebook group. No shout out to Kenneth because Kenneth don't do his homework and he failing football class. Hey man, y'all already know what it is though, man. If I miss you, shout out to Darren, man. Shout out to Swisher, my fault. Shout out to Scrooston. Feel like I missed my shout out to Chicken Burger. Braylon, you know what I'm saying? He be on the Twitters talking shit. And shout out to Tigers Texas Superfan. He been dropping some content. Shout out to him, man. Like I say, it's nothing but love, man. Again, I appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate the round. Shout out to these two gentlemen for coming through. But with that being said, and I saw somebody yes, we will be in the den at 10. We kicking the dens back off on a regular basis. We're gonna talk partially about the Geiger case sentencing, but it's a couple other things I want to talk about tonight too. So it's gonna be maybe kind of a little bit of a variety of a topic tonight. So make sure you tune into the den if you enjoy good conversation. Make sure you shout out to Kemah. Yeah, shout out to Kemah James, man.
Kemah.
Shout out to Kemah James, man. So with that being said, I appreciate all of y'all. Josh, I shout out to people who produce original content. That's who I rock with. But with that being said, man, hey, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Most of y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. With that being said, y'all stay saucy. And until next time, man, hey, we out. I think we out. Push the button. Now we out. I think I pushed the right button. Yeah, we good.